it's MK and I am back with day 2 for COAPA cut files, and today's prompt is stitching. I'm gonna have to say that this is not something that I do very often, and I'm not very good at it either, but I'm gonna give it my hand. So first thing I'm going to do is show you guys everything that I pulled out for this particular layout. Now I have to tell you guys that once all of the effort of stitching is done, this layout does not get very decorated because of all the work that went into the stitching. So I pulled out random bits and pieces from several different collections. I think there's a little bit of Pink Fresh in there, some Creative Memories, and some Stampin' Up, a random cardstock from, actually I think it's a specialty card from Tonic Studios, this pink one, or this pink, oh no, it's a red. And then these two papers here are the Stampin' Up papers that I just adored. My girlfriend was getting rid of some of her older style Stampin' Up stuff. She's kind of a demonstrator and likes to stick with the new. And so I get to rummage through what, you know, slightly loved packets of paper, and I absolutely love having all those leftovers because they're so big. And they work for these types of layouts. So here is the cut file that I will be doing. It's called Stitching Stars. And what I did was I cut out one overlay and 2 sets of the stitches, which actually I only cut out one, and then I poked through to the other one when I realized I wanted 2. So before I remember what it is that I'm actually going to do on the layout, I pull out the thread. Now the thread that I am using is actually twine, so my needle is quite large, and it works beautifully with the pre-cut stitch holes. I didn't even have to fight it left and right, and it actually worked really well with the ones that I poked into because I used a slightly larger poker than I usually do for my stitching layouts. But I forgot what I was going to do, which was ink the edges of my stars. And I can't do that after it is stitched. So I have to do it now. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the negative of the overlay stars and I am inking the edges in tea dye. So I also get random visits from my children, so if I stop, that is what I am doing. I'm visiting with my kids. But once I get to, like, these ones here turn out absolutely perfect, but I do struggle quite a bit with the stars that are on the layout because I'm going to be stitching around them and putting the overlay on them. So basically what I'm doing is making a 2-page layout, but I am using the negative stars instead of having an overlay and then an abundance of these types of stars in my stash. So I really wanted to use them up and kind of show you guys a different way to use the stitching stars, I guess. But I'm going to take my new blender tools that I received from Altenew. So I have a set of mini blender brushes and then a set of detail blending brushes. And while you don't get to see me actually use the detailed one, I do use it to get into the smaller corners of the stars. And it looks like a paint brush, but it's a blender brush in you know, for detail. So it's kind of cut at an angle. And then, of course, I've got 3 different sizes, which is like a small, medium, and large for the detailed brushes. And I love the angles that, that they're cut at. So anyways, that is where I started struggling with it, and I finished everything. I finished the stitching, I finished the inking, and my faux cookies are done. And I am so stoked with how it looks. And then I put the overlay back on top of the original cut file so that way I could have icing on my cookies. I know, I'm weird. And then for my other layout, I'm going to lay in the stars and then let the background be kind of sort of the icing. Even though I don't really have, you know, another overlay to put on them, I still feel like they kind of sort of match with the other set. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly glue all those in place and then try and figure out, now that I've done all that work, how much of it do I really want to cover up? So I know I want this red to be used for my photos. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly. You guys, I cut it out because it's boring. I take my trimmer, I trim around my people. No, it's all guesswork. There's no, I cut it at 4 3/4. There's none of that stuff, you guys. I just crop as close as I can to my subjects without making it look like I tried too hard. That's it. And so once I started laying out my photos, I realized that I'm already going to be covering up quite a bit of my stitching and my background. So I thought, what am I going to do now? Because I really want to incorporate these papers. So I decided to take my striped paper and split it into 6ths. Yes, that's a real word. And go ahead and put them on the back of my around the edges of my paper. And so I thought, you know what, this is perfect. I can cover up my seams or my stitching mess, plus the fact that I can get this gorgeous stripe to be on the background instead of covering up more of the stars. So a win-win for me. And I pulled out some retired red cardstock. It doesn't matter if it's retired or not. The only cardstock I pretty much buy nowadays is my staple cardstock, which, you know, is my favorite colors, and then of course my neutrals, and that's it, you guys. Everything else kind of is just getting used up as a background. So yeah, I don't hardly touch my cardstock anymore. Oh, I'm my name is MK and I have a problem. I'm sorry. Anyways, so what I'm doing is I am just distressing the edges a little bit more so that way I can get to the stripes. I want those stripes to be seen, and I absolutely am thrilled with how it looks by the time that I am done. Did I make a huge mess? Absolutely. Do I need to sweep and vacuum my floor? Yes, I should. Yes, I do need to. Have I done it yet? No. Creativity just keeps flying in this room, you guys. There's no time to clean up, seriously. And then I decided that a little bit of the edge was just too much on there, so I took my serrated edged scissors and kind of rubbed off a little bit more of the white, because it was not curled up the way I was expecting it to be, or I wanted it to be, I should say. So now I'm going to work on the left page, and I have a wider stripe, which is perfect because the way that the distress is, I can show a little bit more of the stripes, and I love that. I was like so stoked that that worked out in my favor. Yay! For me to be able to just rip it a little bit more and have a ton of those stripes showing. So I do love, you guys, I don't hardly ever remember to put paper behind my background and have it poking out like this. So I can't say it enough. I'm thrilled with how this looks, and I still haven't even started on, you know, like the layout yet. I mean, what, we're 10 minutes in and all I'm doing is messing with the background. Sometimes that's all it is too. I love it, you guys. I'm sorry. So these are photos of my children decorating cookies with a set of their grandparents. I say that because they actually have 3 sets of grandparents. So I'm very thrilled that they are blessed with 3 sets, in all honesty. And so they decided that they were going to bake cookies. Now this is December 2020, and because of December 2020, we decided that, you know, if you're gonna come over like they always do, then we're gonna split you guys all up. So my mom is a high risk, and she was very nervous and pretty much wanted to cancel her trip for Christmas because of everyone else still coming, and their basically the fact that they all still wanted a big family Christmas. And so Jason and I decided that we are not going to do that. We are going to have, you know, this set of grandparents this week, this set of grandparents next week, the next ones, you know, so on and so forth. And so we definitely, and then my daughter showed up in January because same thing. She did not want to get sick for COVID. You know, she didn't want to get COVID by traveling and then have to go back to work or not be able to go back to work because she got it. So my daughter is also a high risk for COVID. So yeah, we constantly had visitors, but it was visitor showed up, then we cleaned the house, and we had a break and a half somewhere in there, and then more visitors showed up. So it was constantly go, 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 but not everybody in the house all at once. And so that was just thrilling, you guys. It was so awesome. This set of grandparents went to go get the tree with us. They decorated, helped us decorate for Christmas, by the way. And then they also decorated cookies. I forgot what the word was. Oh my god. And then of course, during this video, my husband was, not to sound mean, but my husband was standing in the way and I needed to get to my thickers. So I basically pointed to them and said, hey, in that bin over there is a bunch of thickers. There's a red section, and in that red section are striped red thickers. Can you please grab them for me? And he goes, are they candy striped thickers? And I said, yes, they are. And I mean, it took him seconds, people, to find these stickers or thickers, the chipboard alphas. And I just was so thrilled. I'm so proud of him. Don't tell him I said that, but yes, he got my alphas for me so that way I could make this gorgeous title. I've been dying to use this title, by the way, and it does show up a lot better in real life. I didn't realize how kind of muted it is in person or in camera, but in real life you can definitely see that it sticks out above the star cookies, but for sure. So what I did was I took some of these Pink Fresh puffy stickers, which once I pulled them out of the package, I kind of fluffed them and whatnot because they are just so soft, you guys. I love a good soft puffy, even though I don't use them very much. Anywho, I decided to pull them out because they had cookies on them. And so I'm taking cookies and candies and I'm basically just spreading them all over the place. I just am so excited and so happy that I have these stickers, you know, for a layout like this. And so I was super stoked. Just did a little bit of decoration. Not a whole lot at all. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, it says Candy Cane Lane, and that's all it is. We had crushed peppermint, and that was pretty much it. They could have been crushed candy canes, who knows? But mostly it was sprinkles and icing, which the icing kind of like coagulated, if that's even a word. And it was not very pretty looking, and it just like melted all over. We had such a huge cookie mess, you guys, but the kids loved it. I will be doing more photos of this event. I basically have a layout for each of my children and their cookies and how disastrous this cookie making was. But this was kind of the, you know, I got everybody in the camera type thing to make cookies. And so I was just really stoked that I did that. And then I'll be doing the insert for the individual cookie, creations by the children. So anyways, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to check out COAPA Cut Files. They are doing a 25% discount all 20 days, you guys. She has some amazing cut files, seriously, in her shop right now. In fact, when I went to go look for the 20 that I was going to use, I was like, oh, I need that too. And I need that too. Oh my gosh, over and over and over again. Seriously. Also, check out everyone else that is playing along because everyone picked out a different cut file to use for the 20 days. So I am stoked at watching everybody else's creations and how different they are and just all the gorgeous images. Virginia, you have outdone yourself. Anyways, thank you so much and I will check y'all later. Bye.